Look at the sheer velocity of the Dubai property market. In just the first quarter of 2026, transactions hit 252 billion dirhams. It is a massive, incredibly fast-moving machine. But that level of opportunity attracts fierce competition. Across developments like the Palm, you have hundreds of brokers trying to sell the same off-plan units in the same locations using the exact same developer renders. An agent launches a campaign, checks this dashboard, and celebrates. They've captured 200 leads, paying a highly efficient 250 dirhams per lead. Meanwhile, the actual sales floor is starving. That cheap cost-per-lead metric is an illusion, a number that hides the real difficulty of acquiring a buyer. When you compete purely to collect the highest volume of cheap form submissions in a saturated market, you mathematically guarantee you will attract the lowest quality prospects. Most brokerages assume their 50,000 dirham marketing budget goes straight to Meta and Google to buy leads. A functioning campaign actually rests on 4 distinct pillars. Yes, you have the media spend, but you also have to fund strategy and management, creative production, and the technology infrastructure. If you cut corners on creative production, your advertisements look identical to 40 other brokers. Buyers have zero reason to click on your version over anyone else's. Pouring a budget entirely into media spend without funding strategy, original creative, and CRM tech ensures you are paying to broadcast noise rather than capture buyers. Let's run that campaign through a reality filter. Here is our starting point: 200 raw leads acquired at 250 dirhams each. First, we remove the fake numbers and unresponsive contacts. Now we have 140 valid leads, and the actual cost has risen to 357 dirhams each. Next, we filter for qualification, removing everyone with an unrealistic budget or timeline. We are left with 40 qualified leads at 1,250 dirhams per prospect. Track those serious prospects through to actual booked appointments. We get 10 viewings. Suddenly, we are paying 5,000 dirhams for every viewing. Out of those 10 viewings, 2 buyers sign a reservation form. The true marketing cost of a completed transaction is 25,000 dirhams. Optimizing your marketing for the cheapest form submission at the top of the funnel is the fastest way to generate a massive bill for a closed transaction. So the lead enters the system. What happens in those first few critical minutes? A buyer might see a TikTok, Google the developer, watch a YouTube tour, and finally submit a form. But in many brokerages, that journey ends at a fatal bottleneck, a shared spreadsheet. Dumping leads into an unmanaged document means they sit untouched for hours. By the time an agent calls, 3 competitors have already reached that buyer. The campaign didn't fail because of the advertisements. It failed because the lack of automated lead routing destroyed the buyer's momentum. When internal operations fail, the impulse is to abandon digital ads and rely solely on property portals. But portals are an environment you don't control. You are just one listing in a sea of alternatives. The solution is structural. Look at this loop. It shows qualified sales data flowing directly out of a CRM and back into the advertising algorithm. Instead of telling the AI to hunt for anyone likely to click a form, you feed it the data of the people who actually book viewings and sign contracts. Algorithms are incredibly powerful, but they can only find highly qualified buyers if you systematically feed your successful sales outcomes back into the machine. Stop asking how much a lead costs. Start demanding to know what it costs to generate a qualified transaction. A focused, strategic budget that yields 10 serious buyers is always worth more than a bloated budget that yields 1,000 fake numbers. In Dubai real estate, 1,000 cheap leads mean nothing if 980 of them never answer the phone. You have to stop buying noise and start investing in a complete conversion system.